Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening,
Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa,
and all
and
of that good stuff.
Merry Easter.
Happy after hours, happy hours. you know. Um, Welcome with KWK with T'Farri. Um, Today's what, Thursday, March
Today is
26th.
Thursday.
The time is first
Yes, it
quarter is
is.
out of first quarter is gone. It's
First
out of
quarter
here.
is school.
It's out of here. It's out of here. It's gone. But we almost forgot about pushing the live button today because we got into a pre-production live conversation, which is pretty much interesting. I think we find these things, at least we were getting our energy flowing going, right? Um,
Yes,
but look,
yes.
I came up with a thought, right? And this will lead into our conversation a little bit more. But I had a thought this morning, right? And it's more like I want to share my thoughts here, right?
Okay, share your thoughts. What's your thoughts?
It's a two part. This is actually three parts, but the two of them are similar. But I gotta break it
Mm-hmm.
down a little bit, right? So let me ask this question: what's the greatest gift that a person could give themselves? Let me ask it that way. What do you think?
Mm. The greatest gift that a person can give themselves, I want to say love,
Love.
because love is covers a multitude of things.
Okay.
And if you can love yourself, there are just certain things that you will do and not do.
Okay. Let's put a tail end onto that question. What's the
Okay.
greatest gift a not just a person, an individual, but a founder, business owner can give themselves?
Um, Answer stays the same.
Okay.
Because if you can give yourself love, you can also, it's just the umbrella to everything else. You'll give yourself balance, you'll give yourself confidence, grace, peace, good health, discipline. You'll give yourself all the things that you know that you need and then some.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I would say love. What about you?
I'm going to give you more of a measurable approach, a more
Okay.
measurable gift, right? Because people love at their own level of understanding of love,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that may not equalize out to certain things or certain people or certain themes, right? I'm going to say personal development. The greatest
Okay.
gift you can give yourself as an individual, as a business owner, is personal development.
I can take that and run with it.
And because what it does is it allows you, if you could give yourself the greatest gift of personal development, it allows you to be coachable. It allows you to accept the gift of receiving personal development for those that believe in you, or for those that you might hire to help you become a better individual slash better business person. Right? It's not. It's more of a. It becomes a tangible thing. It becomes an okay thing. It becomes acceptable. It's not. It's not like you got to go to class. You have to take this test. You have to study this in order to study that. No, it's like, okay, what level do I need? Where do I show up? Or how do I show up? Or how do I need to show up for my business to grow? Right? And when
Yeah.
we talk about business, we talk about not just the business itself, the operational aspect, but we talk about the clients, the customers. We talk about the team that we have, the staff, the outsource, our partnerships outside of that, inside and outside of the business. It allows that room. What's your thoughts?
I'm taking a minute to process this because it could be, kind of this play on words. Personal development is, how would you define that, first of all? Because as you mentioned, how people can interpret love in different ways. How would you interpret or define personal development in a sense that it's the greatest gift an entrepreneur can give themselves?
I'm glad you asked me that question. Personal development is not, it doesn't become a burden. It doesn't become a burden on yourself because you're choosing. It's a choice to want to develop yourself personally, learning new things, thinking outside of the box, right? So what it does is it allows space for possibilities.
Corey, have you ever had burnout with personal development? Like, have you
Oh
ever been like, I'm tired of
yeah,
trying to make myself better? For real?
yeah, absolutely. But there's a structure behind personal development,
Tell me
right? So
more.
there's a structure behind it, right? It's like, well, what are your minimal things you need to do every day that can compound? I'm not saying you got to go out here and read 1,000 books a month and do this and do that. But what habits are you going to creating new habits for yourself is personal development.
Mm-hmm.
The time is going to pass either way, right?
That's true.
So
That's true.
do you woe is me, or do you go, all right, you know what? I'm not going to burn myself out. How do I seek help, understanding, and am I coachable for somebody that's doing or at a certain level that I want to get to? Let me understand their approach because they obviously took the long way. They might be able to give me some sort of shortcuts. There's no shortcuts to anything. When I say shortcuts, I'm talking about somebody that's, let's say somebody's making $500,000,
Mm-hmm.
$20 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to make $1 million. I'm gonna go to them and say, hey, how did you make your first million? This is what I'm doing, but can you give me some advice or share a resource? And they go,
Yeah.
look, you don't have to do that. You can do X, Y, and Z, stay consistent with it, and you'll see boom, 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 boom. You measure it and manage it this way, right? So it's all in how you approach the possibilities. It's all in how you approach yourself. Again, personal development, people look at personal development as a grind, as a
Mm-hmm.
burden, right? Especially when we talk about helping underutilized businesses, small business owners that never even made, you know, six figures or more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you maybe they're still bootstrapped and they continuously stay bootstrapped, right? One of our deficits in the industry is access to capital, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, what are the possibilities through personal development and understanding, and then being able to align with people where we could team up to spend money with each other and to go out there and make money?
Let me ask you this. Is the deficit really the access to capital,
That's what I'm going
or
with it.
is it people being prepared and in the right mindset to feel capable and confident to go for those things?
I think I think we're still up against the fight for access to capital. We don't get the same
Okay.
inside information as the others. We
No,
don't sit in the
no,
same room. How many of us could go sit in a room with people and say, "Yo, I got an idea, I got an opportunity, or I have a short somewhere. I need you to cut a check. Let's go in on this joint venture and let's go flip this money and do this real quick." Right?
no. Yeah.
So there's that. The other piece to that is you're right. Structure, and this is one of the core missions of biz therapy, is helping
Mhm.
people get outside of themselves, right? Because if you're not on your way, you in the way, right?
Okay
So
now.
it's creating a structure so you can get out of your way, and so you
Yeah.
can start to build something. Because overthinking is evil, right? Overthinking is evil. You negotiate yourself out of your in your own way, basically, right? And so, um, I believe, based on my experience and
Mhm.
my doing, personal development creates room for possibilities. See, success is built off of energy and not necessarily empathy.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Sorry, you're gonna have to run that back. Success is built not off of is built
Success
off
is
of
built
energy
off of energy and not empathy.
and not empathy.
Correct.
How can you have energy without empathy?
No, well, listen, people go, I need you to feel sorry for me, so can you give me a handout? Versus My energy is good. Let's go out here and run. It's like sports. It's sports. Do you pass the ball to somebody that's unenergetic and unmotivated and unwilling to go out there and help score the point? I feel sorry for you. You having a bad day, but you on the court. You suited up today. Let's get our energy right and go. And I'm not taking empathy away. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Empathy, there's a place for that, right?
Okay.
Because we're human beings. But I think we lean on that a lot. We lean on that way too much versus having matching the right energy. Think about it like this.
Yes, I can see that. I can understand that.
Somebody come to one of your check-ins, group
Mhm.
check-in, right? Everybody energy is good, and this person coming in with bad energy. Well, tell me what is going to be what is going to be resolved if people absorb that bad energy.
One apple spoils up one bad apple spoils a whole bunch.
So then tell me how empathy is going to make success happen. Because all you're going to do is say,
Okay.
I feel sorry for you. It's going to be okay. I get it. It's going to be okay. I understand. And while there's a place for that, I'm not saying there's not, but success is based off of energy, not empathy.
Okay. And
Hence personal development creates opportunities for possibilities.
so I would say like not just energy, but also like the exchange of it. So
Yeah.
before it turns into a tangible cash PayPal currency exchange, there is an energy exchange. Now let me ask you this. Do
Mm-hmm.
you take on clients that they may have the currency exchange, but their energy exchange is not equal?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I have a remedy for that.
Okay, so what's the
As much,
secret? What's the remedy?
as much as I can, I have a remedy for that.
And what's
Because
that?
you can't sit in my presence and be low on yourself. I'm gonna find a way to make you get up.
Okay.
Right? And I'm gonna try all angles because I'm Corey. Right? Don't make me better. It just makes me who I am. Just makes me different. So yes, I will take that on because because you can have bad energy, great intentions. You just don't have the right pillars of support behind you and surrounding you.
Okay.
And that's something that I've experienced intimately myself, not having the right understanding, the right support around me. I've had that throughout my life. I had to pull myself up. But then I garnered people that have supported me, that see the better part of me and push me to go, yo, and all they doing is pushing me. They're not using empathy on me. They're using well, there might be some empathy, but it's more like I understand, but I also see his potential. Let me push him in this direction. And so you could get people out of it. Again, if you're not on your way, you in the way. So it's a matter of movement because energy is built up off of movement and taking action.
So that's then where I'm gonna have to disagree with you
No problem. Let's go.
because I don't think it's a or, I think it's a and. It's gonna be
Okay.
energy and empathy because when we talk about our clientele and making sure they have the best experience, we must take time to understand what their experience is like. And so, with understanding what the client is pleased with, what they would like to see more of, or understanding, hey, this wasn't really clear in the communication, I don't like this style, having that understanding will lead to you making the energy adjustments as needed in order to have that currency exchange, and which would then lead to the success if that is what you're using to define as success. Success can be defined different depending on what you're looking for and what season.
So you're right. And so let's be even more clear. My statement originally is success is built off of energy and not empathy. There's no removal of empathy, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like having an idea. We can have all the ideas we want, but without action and execution, Tell me where the success comes from that without action,
Mm-hmm.
without execution, right? So it's not the removal of empathy. It's inclusive, but it's the energy behind all of that for success.
Okay.
So it's not so that's why it's included in that statement, right? And that's just something that again comes off the top of my head. Success is based off of energy and not empathy. Empathy is not removed. Empathy is a part of the calculation. It's a part of the formula. But you can only go but so far with empathy, and energy is not included. You can only go but so far. Where does this success come from? Empathy.
No. You have to definitely take some steps. Once you have an understanding, you
Yeah,
gotta then, you know, use some wisdom with that and discernment with that understanding.
exactly. Now we could go further into the semantics of words and positioning, right?
Mhm.
But initially, again, there are those that it's like there's people out here that use pity parties to get what they want. Up until they
Mm.
got to really show up and show out and really put the cart before don't put the cart before the horse, but you get where I'm going with that, right? So it's
Yep.
not necessary. So success is not driven from empathy. Empathy is a part of the calculation. It's part of the framework. Yes, you got to seek understanding. You got to seek understanding. You got to seek alignment, and alignment only comes from energy.
Mhm.
Right? I can have as much empathy for somebody. I understand that person. You're like, I get them. I totally understand, get it. But there can be missing alignment if there's no action and no energy behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's
Right?
true.
If I got four tires, if one tire is flat, all you doing is empathy all day. You can't even drive it. Because there's no energy and no movement. No movement, no
Yeah.
energy, no alignment.
Ooh, okay. No energy, no movement, no alignment. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? But man,
New
I'm sitting there
framework.
like, got a flat tire. Hey, yo, I got a flat tire on the side of the highway. And they're like, oh man, I'm at work or I'm across the country. I can't even get to you. You okay? I'll sit on the phone with you until somebody come. Yeah, that's understanding. That's empathy. That's sympathy. That's friendship. That's support. That's all of those things. But I'm still sitting on the highway. I'm not creating energy to get to the destination I get to so I can have success at the end of the day. My story at the end of the night is I sat on the side of the highway for 8 hours waiting for a tow truck to come and get me, help me change this tire because I didn't have the right jack in the first place.
So let me ask you this. What would you say to a client then who understands, an entrepreneur who understands who they serve, but they don't know how to close the deal?
Mm,
And I know
mm,
that could vary
mm.
depending on industry.
That's a whole nother
Uh,
session. That's
that's a full one there.
the full one, right? So who you so
Cause that's what I've been noticing lately. Like folks, they're like, okay, I understand this is my clientele, but from the consultation that we have, how do I then, what framework can I use to actually close the deal?
right,
What
okay.
system can I implement to say, okay, I've heard your concerns. I know I can solve your concerns. Now these are your next steps.
So there's a couple of different things, but the first thing is you can't be scared to ask for the sale.
Okay. So there's
A lot
this
of times, a
fear.
lot of times people what I talk to people all the time. They scared to sell. They scared to ask for the sale. I could do this. I could help you. I got the value. I got this. I got that. But the one vital question is, yeah, can I earn your business today? And that's at the tail end of it. Before that is, understanding who you're dealing with.
I'm not gonna front. I actually had to practice in the mirror. Like I
Yeah,
had to practice saying my prices. I
yeah.
had to just hear myself say it out loud
Record
constantly.
yourself too. Record yourself too, and listen back.
That's
You know what I'm
good.
saying? I come from
Yeah.
sales and business development. Like, like, especially the old school framework of how this thing works is it's all relationship building 101, right? And so the question is, you got to identify: do you have clients or do you have customers?
What's the
Customers,
difference, Corey?
oh, customers are transactional. Clients are relationship, long term relationship based, basically. The difference is I'm a customer of the supermarket. I'm not going in there building a relationship with the cashier. I'm going there, buy what I need, and keep it moving.
That's
But when
true.
I go to the doctor, I need to have a relationship with him because he needs to understand what I'm going through at night.
Got it.
So
Check.
understanding who's in front of you. You got a customer, do you have a client? Are you set up for customers, and are you set up for clients? What portion of your products and services is customer focused, and what are client focused?
So then if you're client focused, and you struggle with, because you mentioned it was two things, I think. And so the one was like getting past the fear of like making the offer, making the sale. What was that second thing?
Um,
Do you remember?
yeah, I don't know if it's the second or the last one I wanted to say, but basically, it's pushing the pain.
Okay, what does that mean? Pushing the pain? That sounds painful.
Yeah, then so don't you want the pain to go away?
Yeah.
That's how you close the sale. See,
Mm-hmm.
there's luxury businesses, there's businesses for needs, there's businesses for wants, there's businesses for whatever. At the end of the day, there's a need, and you got to identify when you go to the hospital or the doctor and go, what is your pain between 1 and 10? Yeah, if it's a 1 or 2, we'll circle back. I don't
Yeah.
need to take no ibuprofen. You know what I mean? But if it's at a 10 or 11 or 12, you want that thing to go away immediately. So you got to be able to
Ooh.
understand people's pain. But you got to put yourself in a position to ask the right questions, right? And to frame the conversation so people go, you know what? I'm in pain. Can you give me something for this? Like, not right now, but right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then you got to ask for it. Like, or you can ask them, say, "Hey, I notice your pain. You can't really talk right now. Your pain is at 11, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Would you want me to give you something for that? Mm-hmm. Because phone right here. Mm-hmm. You need to click on this link and sign up and hit pay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not funny, but that's how it goes, though.
I'm saying, like, again, it's a culmination of a lot of different ways. Depending on the type of business you have, the type of industry you serve, there's different levels of pain that needs to be taken care of. It's all about the pain. And if it's a want, some people have money to spend money because they need to spend money because that's all they need. That's all they can do is spend money to make themselves feel good, and they got
I
enough
need
of
to
it.
know them people.
They
Real
out
people.
there. They believe it. They're walking amongst us. They just
What
don't.
do
They
they
don't
be
have to
doing?
tell nobody that. They ain't gonna tell nobody. Yeah, Hey, you see me? I got a lot of money to give if you want it. You can have some. Ain't nobody doing that. You know what I
Dang.
mean? Unless you on the inner circle. And then what people do with that is they do shared revenue growth, right? Like, hey, how can we partner up and go make 30 cents on the dollar and do this, that, and the third, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but for us regular folk, it's yeah, it's the pain, man. But you got to ask for the sales. As a business
It's the
owner, you
same.
can't feel isolated. And you know what? Your first customer.
Tell me more, because I've heard opposite. I've heard that you are not your customer.
No, you are no. Okay, so I know that statement. I understand that
Okay. Okay.
because as business owners, it's easy for us to say, "Hey, we know our customers need this," but it's one sided purview,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not the case, right? Because I know what my technical skills are. I know what I deliver and bring as a business owner based off of my product and service, right? And so
Mhm.
no, you got to listen to the people and see what they need, what their pain points are so you can solve it. That's that. But you are
Mhm.
your first customer. What I mean by that is if you doubt yourself, who gonna buy what you offering?
Well, yeah, you definitely have to believe in what you're
Now
selling.
I go back to my statement. Success is built off of
I'm not going back.
no, I'm saying
Empathy
success is
and
built
energy.
off of
Em-
energy.
Empathy
Not
and energy.
empathy. You follow what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this now?
No, you definitely, because I remember and that is a journey within itself. Like knowing that you have this gift, but really believing that this gift is so good, people would be willing to gladly pay you for what you have to offer.
No,
And
that ain't
Corey,
even true either.
why that ain't true? That people wouldn't be gladly willing to pay you.
There's a lot of people out here that they go, you know what? I know that person can help me, but money is I idolize money and I don't want to give up my money for something intangible. I need something materialistic.
There's those people. That
Right.
is. But then there are people that are like, well, where can I sign up at? Can you give
True.
me your business card? Can
Absolutely.
we schedule a time to meet?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Without it.
But you
But now
have to believe.
how do you find the people and how do people find you? And that's the journey of what we do as business owners.
Yeah, is positioning yourself. But and that's why I think it's so important to feel strongly and confident. If confidence is lacking, it's going to be really hard to sell. Because if you're not believing in what you bring to the table and how you bring it, and that can't nobody else do it like you, it's going to be hard to sell. And at that point, that's when I highly recommend a coach, a business coach.
Unless
Unless,
unless you're selling something that is, for example,
okay,
there was a certain sneaker brand that was out there that was like $3,000 for some sneakers. I ain't gonna say the name. Three
okay.
thousand dollars for some sneakers. He got knocked off his pedestal and started selling it for $100.
Mm,
And you got people that will spend $100 to be a part of the $3,000 item club. So it's not much confidence you need to have in that because they already got confidence in that product or that material that's going to make them look good and feel good when they go into these circles where other people are at, the in crowd.
but you had to have a certain level of confidence to say I'm gonna charge $3,000 for some shoes in the
Well,
first
that's,
place.
that's, that's big money behind that, and that don't come all the way down to us. That stay up top, right? Think about our people. Think about us. We spend $1 trillion on stuff, consumerism, right? We consume information and we consume products,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why we don't have our own black Louis Vuitton online? Riddle me that.
What's that got to do with it?
Because we don't even own Louis Vuitton. That's not even in our community, right? You know
Okay.
the percentage they just did. I'm gonna find that and I'm gonna put it in here. They just did a report on how when money comes into the black community, right?
Mhm.
Within 72 hours, it's out of the black community. We don't even keep money in our community long enough, let
I can see
alone let alone spend money with each other talking about, yo, what's my discount? You follow what I'm saying? So your confidence statement is it's right on both on it could go a couple of different ways, but you're right. But the confidence when we dealing with what we're dealing with, and we're dealing with the business owners, we're trying to expand and help and do all of these things with. Yes, you got to have a certain level of foundation of confidence because we need pillars of support and people need to feel that
yeah.
energy, right? and
Yeah.
so and so there's that, but then again there's the flip side of that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have confidence. Amazon is way beyond the confidence level, and to the point now they send you a reminder. Yo, you got like 5 items sitting in your basket. So there's what confidence behind that? That's all analytics.
No, they're so confident. Amazon is so confident. You can order something, you can be like, this is not what I ordered, and they'll be like, you can keep it, it's cool.
Well, you
Don't
know
even.
why? Because they understand. Because now that's a system of waste. They can calculate their waste. They can cap because they buying stuff at big numbers. So that's all system related. We not going to even go down that because that's a whole nother ball game. That I
But
don't think
systems help with confidence too.
it
You know, when
does.
we talk
It
about,
does.
okay, what are the pieces that you have used on your journey to help either keep, to start, keep, or maintain and continue to grow your confidence as a business owner?
Well, two systems I use is a CRM and a workflow system, right?
Okay.
Um, because you those two systems serve a purpose of execution and information.
So it's the execution that helps to grow your confidence, and the
The
systems that you have in place to execute.
the
You
information
doing what you said you're gonna do.
the information, yes, you got to be able to execute on information. So CRM holds activity and profile information of your client or prospective client, conversations, meetings, documents provided, services provided. All that information is in there, so you can go back and look at the analytics and the data, and even question yourself and say, why didn't I win this deal? What was the
Mm,
conversation like, and why? What did I miss that I didn't maybe question or provide? And then you could do a audit, at some points in the year, and with yourself or your team, and say, hey, we missed providing this for people, so let's put this in place. And you'd be surprised it's only the minuscule things. And once you put that minuscule thing in place or make that small shift, it expands possibilities, energy, right? So yeah, CRM. I'll just go with those two, right? You got your calendar, using your calendar for appointments, then calendar for time blocks so you can get some things done. Nothing is a perfect science, but the question is, what can I remove from me as remembering, um, or holding that burden or that weight on myself as a human being, because I'm going to drop the ball. But what
mhm.
won't drop the ball? So when I go back to it, it gives me a constant reminder of where I need to go or where I left off at. Right. And so again, I go back to biz therapy, right? Biz therapy provides these conversations about self. It's a room where you come and talk and get it off your chest and somebody can understand, because biz therapy is about the experience of the business owner. And at the same time, we help create structures and systems to get people moving the needle forward.
Yeah,
We
I
can't,
know. You said what?
I said we can't stay stuck. Staying stuck is not good. Every now and then you get stuck, but how do I unstick myself?
Yeah, I heard a quote recently that was saying, "What's worse than analysis paralysis?
Post analysis by paralysis.
What's worse than that is regret. Is regret." And so, one of the things I know that I started off doing when I first got in business with building confidence information. And so, while I already had a master's degree in counseling and adult education, as far as a coach, I knew I could do the work. I was doing the work, but I still wanted some level of certification to say, okay, I really understand this now. And so when I go into spaces, I can say I'm a certified coach. And so it was the information of furthering my skill set and education in that regard. I think sometimes people have to be careful of not trying to consume so much information that they're not executing, because then you could hurt your confidence because you're so busy trying to get all this information.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has to be a continuous flow of many things. So yeah, it was okay, get the information, get the certification that I need. That's one season. Next, let me work on my my branding and my website. Like, what do people see when they see me? What do I want to be known for?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there are some things on the front end, but then there's some behind the scenes stuff. Behind the
Mm-hmm.
scenes stuff, like you mentioned, getting a control of your time. If you have people scheduling appointments, but you're late or you're not showing up, or you constantly have time conflicts, this will damage your confidence in knowing, okay, I can show up, because you keep letting other people down and yourself down. So I really had to get a good hold of my time. It was this book that I read that was called The Time Saving Mom. And that really, really helped me. I'm a mother of two. And so, there's my schedule, there's their schedule, then there's the schedule for business and everything else all in between. And so I was able to find the sweet spot of when I do business is between 9 and 2. 2 to 3, I need a little break before I go get the kids or wrap up, whatever I need to wrap up. 3 to 8, 3 to 9 focuses on the kids. 9 to whatever time, that's my time. And so I think, that time thing is really big when you talk about building your confidence up, is protecting it, protecting how you use your time, using it wisely. Um, but yeah, those are a couple things that come to the top of mind. Is, do you need to improve your skill set? Um, and also the system, knowing what the onboarding process looks like for clients, knowing what does it look like when they leave, creating that flow also helped with my confidence, because I would then know, okay, once you meet with me, no matter who you are, if you're meeting under this topic or area, this is what we're going to cover, this is what I know I can deliver to you. And so the more that I can stay true to my word, the more it increases my confidence.
No, I agree with you. Absolutely. You hitting the head with the time block scenario, right? So there's three core areas that's a part of personal development that biz therapy walks people through when they become a part of our workshops, right? Um, it's time, it's focus, and frustrations.
Mm. Which one do
Have
you
you?
start
Oh, well, we start with time, right? Most important piece, right? Time, because if you don't have time, how do you focus?
with? Yeah, it's a struggle.
Right? And through your focusing, you need to understand that you can't be focusing on things because frustrations are going to naturally build up. Because when you're focusing, you're storing and exuding energy pretty much at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you made a comment earlier on isolation, clients feeling isolated, people feeling
Yeah,
isolated. So
it's a struggle.
in isolation, you're building up energy. You're building up frustrations
Yeah.
unconscious, unconsciously in a lot of ways too, right? Consciously, but unconsciously. And if you building up that frustration, well, how do you get it out? And then that's further down the road in terms of the workshops and the exercises we go through. But how do you what structure or system do you put in place to handle time, focus, frustrations, etc. Right? Because you're the ceiling as the person, as the business owner. You're the ceiling. The business is only going to grow as far as you, or however high you are. If you a second floor person, the business ain't going to grow past second floor.
Mm-hmm.
You might go to the roof line. That could start at the third floor, but that's about it. You know.
Yeah.
So it's not it's not about it being easy. It's about being worth it. It's not about things getting easier. It's about you become better at handling the hard, and you become better at choosing the hard. You want to choose your hard to be
Yeah.
successful? You want to choose your hard to be unsuccessful? It is what it is, right? But if you're not seeking personal development, like I have conversations with certain people, and they go, wow. or they give me the ones that go wow, that they open for more. I get it, right? I'm cool with that. The ones that give me
Mhm.
pushback and without doing due diligence, yo, that's all bad. It's a good thing if you and now if you're coachable, so then we can get into it. But if you're not coachable and you giving pushback off of something you didn't do your due diligence of, and you don't know what you're talking about, that's all bad. And that's not bad in terms of me. That's bad in terms of your own self. Because then
Mhm.
you're gonna hit that ceiling we just talked about. That ceiling might be the basement. You could come. You only got the basement level of growth. So growth is important because when you have that personal growth, then you have possibilities. You create
Mm.
possibilities. Possibilities are created because somebody go, you know what? I didn't have an idea until I met you, talked to you, or we went and did this. I didn't have that idea, but I got an idea. What do you think? Now we can talk strategy. Then we can talk tactics and execution.
I agree.
Right? And so this is all high level stuff. I mean, if anybody want to get into the weeds on some actuality, right?
Mhm.
Reach out to us, man. Hit us up at biztherapycoaching.com. Sign up for a consultation. Hit T'Farri up at T'Farri.solutions@gmail.com. Send us your questions. Send us scenarios. You might be going through something. Send us a scenario. We'd be glad to talk about that on an episode, but also sign up for a consultation. They're free. Mine's are free.
Mhm.
Yours free. Okay,
Yep.
cool. I mean, look, it's a conversation, right? Sign up for a consultation, and come and get it. There's something that we do is called a business health check, right? We run through a business health check, give you your scores, see where you scoring good, fair, and not really good at all. And
Mhm.
the next step is getting the medicine to take away the pain.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, this just get taking away the pain, right? Um, Soon to be announced. And well, T'Farri, you have your monthly check-ins, right? So speak on that real quick.
Yeah, so every month, towards the last week of the month, we do a virtual networking growth check. And so we celebrate what have been your wins, what are your goals coming up, and what can we hold you accountable for. And it's really been a beautiful growth experience for all involved. I started off with one person, right? And it's just been growing and growing. And I'm so excited for, the businesses that are just going to be able to bring those ideas to life. Sometimes we're already at the edge. Sometimes we need somebody to just kick us over. And actually, that's how I learned how to swim at the edge of a diving board, and the swim
Mhm.
instructor pushed me off, and I had no choice.
Better
And
make
so,
sure it's some water there at the bottom, not no rocks.
right? So,
Mhm.
so
The
if
wind
that's
under
if that's the space that you find yourself in, you just need a little pushing. Join us and come experience that. We'll hold you accountable.
right. And so
It's 12:30.
yeah. So we try to we make this choice to be in this business and this industry and doing the things that we do. I think we can be like most people and go someplace else and make some money and tuck our heads and go do something totally different, right? But we
That's
make
true,
choice
Corey.
to try and this
I
thing
like
it's not easy. And it's not easy because you get burdened with a lot of different things, not just yourself, but you still got to carry your family, your responsibilities, and then the people. When you start helping people and leading people, there's a responsibility to that, and so we try to make sure that these resources are in place and opportunities are in place so you guys can learn about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
learn about what's in the industry so you can see bigger possibilities than yourself. We gotta wait for this. And this is something I'm just starting. Is Founders Hour. I've decided to push it out beyond just people that I'm always around talking stuff with. It's called the Founders Hour, right? We'll advertise that some more on all of the biz therapy coaching channels and the website. But you come for an hour, hang out. It is a membership based thing. There's a small fee. But definitely come on in. You'll be able to really talk to some people, get some information, and invest in yourself. Right? It's the investment in self is important, and that's one thing I find is you can't do it you can't do it by yourself. There's a lot of information
Mm-hmm.
out here. There's a lot of people out here, but even more so, if you look at the world, is full of abundance. We can make a decent living, so we can enjoy our lives and take care of our families, and endure some of the stress that come along with it, because you're not going to escape it. But unnecessary stress is what we don't need to put on ourselves, and some of us have to go through that to learn a lesson. Hey, that means you just keep repeating the class. Summer school, it's like going back to school. You fail the class during the year, you got to take summer school, sit in a hot class, no AC. You know what I mean? Monday through Friday, you know what I
What
mean?
you
Or
know about it, Corey?
you know what? Or Saturday detention, because you done did something. You in Saturday detention from 8 to 12, while everybody in the world is already up doing what they doing. You know what I
Was
mean?
you
Like,
cutting up in school?
I can't say I was cutting up in school like that, because the only thing that created fear for us was Pop Dukes. Like, he took away
Okay.
the fear. Don't be afraid of the world. Don't be afraid of the police. But you gonna be afraid because I'm gonna tighten you up, right? And it wasn't necessarily he gonna beat us up, even though we got our fair share. But Pops put some things on us, like, for example, before we went outside to go play in the neighborhood, play with the everybody's, you know, we had to read the newspaper. It's called the Star Ledger. We had to read the Star Ledger and write. We had to read two different stories, and then we had to summarize it in our own words, on notebook paper, 2 pages.
Oh, he wasn't playing.
Not is no, and this was every day in the summertime before we went outside, before
That's
summer school
so
and all that. So
good.
we weren't playing no game. But see,
That's a good daddy.
and if you really acted up, he go, okay, cool. You think you need to go and have some fun to go outside today? I'm gonna leave that decision on you. But now I don't just need 2 articles, I need 4. By the time you get the 4 articles, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You only get a couple of hours out before the sun come down, because you can't be outside. You can't let
It's
the light, you
yeah.
can't let the street lights beat you on or beat you
Uh-uh.
home. Like,
Kids don't know nothing about the street lights.
right?
Lord have
And that's only
mercy.
the tip of the iceberg of that stuff. But again, those are things, those are structures,
Mm,
those are systems that made me a better person. It made me
yeah.
go back to certain things that I need to. And again, not everybody has those things, but that's why I take a village to take people to share with other people and to help each other. It's bugged out how we don't really care about each other in a lot of different ways. We just want to blow hot air. Let me see what this other person doing. So let me be
Mm-hmm.
friends so I can figure out what they doing. Let me gatekeep. I'm running across people. I'm giving you information. Is what you do with it. Whatever. I don't need to be holding to that. I'm not taking it with me when I go. Anyway, don't want to get
Anyway,
on my. So yeah. So again, check us out. Um,
what you
you
got
know,
coming up? You said it's the founders
founders
hour.
founders hour.
Okay.
hmm And then, if you really want to see where you are in business, man, again, it'll be on the site uh, by next week. Is our small business health check, right? We go through
Okay.
the 7 systems of business, and give you a score and help you identify where you at. A little roadmap to go along with it, right? So, yeah, and then check us out, man. Give us a call. We have conversations with Core on Thursdays, bi-weekly. We're gonna push out some a solidified date on that, and then you can also join me and my other partner, Hayward CPA Live, every other
Shout
Saturday at
out
11.
to Hayward.
Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, and then every other Saturday after that. It's bi-weekly. Come over there and hop over there, because we talk tax stuff, tax strategy. We talk all kinds of stuff, but it's this tax and accounting and why you need bookkeeping. That's another thing. We don't. Where's our books at?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We don't want to
Mm-hmm.
look at the numbers because we embarrassed by the numbers.
Oh, that's
But
too real.
we need funding, but we ain't got the numbers.
Come on, talk
How
about
can
it.
you forecast? How can you project? How can you say, you know what? I need to make X amount per year. So let me get to the end number and then back it up. And then let me see what my actuality is. How am I making this money? When am I making this money? And when do I need to increase it? Or when do I need to fold that product and service? Because that thing ain't even doing it. It's not even a loss leader.
Mm.
Because there's loss leader products that you ain't really making no profit on, but it leads you into to another service or product or service. It leads that person into that, or that company into that, I should say. But anyway, I digress from there, right? So we have 51 minutes. Did you have any other thoughts, any other questions, anything there, partner?
No, I mean, I just want to tell people to just keep going one day at a time, one foot in front of the other. And I do have a workshop coming up on April 7th. It's Go Beyond Great, Embracing the Journey to Excellence. And so we need to get past good, past great, and really define what excellence looks like for us in our business. And make sure we stay true to that. So I'm excited about what's to come from that. And that's April 7th. Shoot me an email. You want details? You can follow me at T'Farri Unlocked.
Can you send me an email with that stuff, please?
I surely will, sir. I
And
surely will.
you know there's a book called Good to Great, right?
Yeah, that book is, I mean, I feel like
You can do it to yourself.
it's a little overrated, but you know,
Oh, what you mean overrated?
overrated. Well, that book
Why?
is
You know
okay.
what you know what the thing about reading books are,
What?
right? Is yes, it's written by people that have
That's
experience.
what people forget.
Hold on, right? They forget it, but you don't have to. There's almost at least one thing. There's a book called The One Thing, by the way, too.
Okay.
Check that.
I
That's an
need to
excellent book,
the
right? But
one thing.
the one thing there's you could find one thing in a book that can help you move the needle forward. You just got to look and see what aligns with you. What
I'm
syncs
not
up
saying
to
there's nothing in
you.
there. I'm not saying there's
Okay.
nothing in there. I'm just saying it is highly overrated in my opinion.
Well, tell me why.
Uh,
Before I give our key takeaways for the people, tell me why it's overrated.
it's so many. I thought it was just the way that people ranted and raved about it. I thought it was going to be a little bit different in the way it flowed and not just talking about all these different businesses and Coca-Cola and whoever else and what they did or didn't do. Like, this is you studying other people and reporting back. This is a book report. And so it just wasn't I wasn't looking for warm and fuzzy. I was just looking for more of a narrative, maybe, if that's the word, versus
So
a report back.
okay, so think about it like this. That book was written years ago.
It was years ago.
Years ago. And that book was written based off the experiences of big box stores years ago. So
Yeah.
it is a report. It's report based. But how and this is not directed at you per se, right? It's how you take that information and use it and do further due diligence on it, right? Because what okay, when we talk about us, the black community, right? What we talk about history. Some of us talk about the understanding the history of and the impact of us in certain parts of history as to why we have or what we don't have today. So the same as with business. There's some books that were written centuries ago, years ago, decades ago, right? That if we understand how to go about that deciphering the information out based
Yes.
off of history, we can use it because it's all the same as the same as the same. Now we just got social media. Now we got
It's a
AI.
history book.
Now we got this, right? Back then they didn't have any of that. So how do we
Yes.
take some of them pieces and flip that over here so we can remain authentic, but we can also push our messages to the right people? Who are our customers? Where are they hanging out? How do we get to them? Because there's a lot of noise in the world.
Yeah, it
Everybody
is.
got 15 minutes of fame. We getting down with the program to have lives. and talk about stuff so people could align with who we are.
Yeah.
If you ain't on your way, you in the way.
I know
But
that's right.
we don't have to use certain things to be of the masses to create the same kind of noise. We could just stick to who we are and just do it that way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll finish our good to great disagreement some
Okay.
other time. All right. So but just a couple of takeaways, man. You know, you are the ceiling, like I said before. You know,
Mm-hmm.
actions reveal the truth. Right? And so that goes back to success is based off of energy and not empathy, right? Investing in yourself, most important. It's not selfish. It's the highest thing, the highest compliment. It's the highest leverage you can do for yourself, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
possibilities are earned. Possibilities are earned. They're not given. You know, it's not. It's earned through discernment, through understanding, through work, right? Putting in the work.
Preparation. Mm-hmm.
Correct, right? And then development, personal development, it's a decision. It's not a destination. You don't
Mm-hmm.
get a bright light turned on today and you've arrived and that's it for your personal development. As they say, there's levels to this. So
Absolutely.
it's a journey. You know what I mean? It's a decision, it's a journey, it's not a destination, right? And so you know, take that as you can. You can't build beyond where you are. You got to go higher.
Yeah.
So on that note, I say peace.
Peace. Until next time.
All righty. Hold on here.